Fixed. That only took a half hour. Okay. Now then, let's just get started. Next one up is Tyro Cedrus Golf Club, or course, just GC, by Dion. We're gonna have to start over because I made it one hole in before I realized um, that I wasn't streaming. And I'm gonna get my phone set up. All right, we'll see if that works. That is not a toy. Stop it. And my controller isn't plugged in. Okay, well, I'm going to restart the game. One sec. Alright, and we're back. Just gotta go navigate to the course again. Alright. Back to the course. I might put my thoughts out there for this hole a little more concisely this time, since I've already done this once, and I really don't feel like doing it again. So I like the concept. Green idea is interesting. Um, Green's a little big even for double green, and the fact that we're aiming at the back pin to me makes no sense. And 17's pin is in front of our pin. I would make this front part exclusive to number 1, and this back left part here exclusive to number 17. Um, I'm not entirely sold on the idea of the kind of the multi-level island thing with the bunker on its own little tier, but as far as the concept goes, it's really well executed. Yeah, and it's the whole, like, this being a raised green with um what do you want to call it, with a forced carry over water, kind of loses its edge when you have 40 yards of green between your pin and the water. Now if if you swap the pin spots and you had a front pin for this hole, then that hazard becomes intimidating, but from here it's just kind of trivial. But overall, interesting whole idea. All right, let's see here. All right. Well, I don't know about the little dots in the bunkers. I don't know if that's intentional or not. This one looks like it was unintentional. Yeah, I don't know. Intentional or not, it looks like it was an accident. So I would probably undo those. But it's framed nicely off the tee. Yeah, bunkers. Bunkers look decent. I think the one to the right here got away from me a little bit. It gets a little small at spots. Like you could probably, I don't know, cut that up into two bunkers, or there's a couple things you can do with that one. The sculpting, I think, gets away from you a little bit there. But again, it's a nice looking hole. Of course, it'll get a whole lot more interesting if you put it over this way. Alright. Yeah, it's a short hole, so I think you can get away with the whole green runner away from you thing. In the wrong conditions, that might get a little dicey, but I don't think it's a big issue. We're going to play this terribly. There we go. But yeah, solid whole concept. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like you might have overdone it with the bushes here a little bit. Especially, like, there's a ton of bushes right between you and the fairway, and there's just kind of not as many in the rest of the environment. So the key to me with waste areas that are forced carries is making them feel like they kind of fit in the environment. So I would have probably used more of that grass that you had, and less of just like the wall of bushes. It looks okay off the tee, but when you're flying over it, it looks a little busy. But the hole's framed nicely. I like the bunkers. Right one looks great. Left one, yeah, same kind of thing. It looks like the sculpting got away from you a little bit. And there's just a really big blob of sand. Like, I think you could shrink that one down a fair bit. But yeah, overall, again, bunkers are probably a bit big, but the rest of the sculpting on this hole is great. It's a cool waterfall idea off to the left. It's pretty solidly done. To me, it might be like there's a lot of tiers there. I don't know. Like, that's just an infinitely nitpicky thing, but I don't know. Like, I think it might just, to my eye, it might look a little, like, it looks like a big staircase. If that's what you're going for, great. But it just, like, usually, like, yeah, 2, maybe 3 tiers is usually good for like a natural looking tiered waterfall. But it's just that's personal preference. Oh, I totally forgot. Disclaimer: everything I say in the stream is just my opinion, and it should be taken as such. So, you know, it's the opinion of one person. If you like it, great. If not, you don't have to listen to it. Totally fine. Yeah, I there's enough of these, and I'm assuming that's intentional. It doesn't. I don't think it works quite with the look of the bunkers that you're going for, because it's very clean and manicured edges, and then there's just like these little kind of random holes in the middle. So I'd just get rid of those, I think. Well, let's see how this goes. Badly, but in a good way. Okay. Yeah. Screen seems solid. My chipping, however, is not solid. Alright, this might take a while today. Almost drive it in two and take a double. Yeah, I think the this one's a little closer in that the waist area there kind of matches the environment a little bit better. Still seems, like a little arbitrary considering how open it is out there. And let's see. Yeah. Retaining wall looks solid, I think. Green might be, well, it's a touch big, but for this hole, I think it kind of works. Will you stop? What are you doing? One sec. Stop. Just. Yeah. Orion's getting into more trouble. I swear, if I don't keep, if I give him like 3 minutes, he's already, found some trouble somewhere. Alright. Bunker sculpting looks really solid on this one. I think that's definitely, I think a little, a step up from the first couple holes. Not that it was ever bad, I just think that, it looks like this is smoother than the last couple. There we go. Hey Thomas, how's it going? Alright, I like what you did with this one. Lays itself out nicely. I think you could kind of stress the sculpting a little bit on this one. Like for these bunkers, you can make those pop by like raising the back up a little bit, lowering the front, and maybe adding just a little bit of some like subtle contouring to this fairway. Hole itself is fine. It just, it doesn't quite have the same visual punch that it could have. Just because it's very flat, but otherwise it's framed very nicely. So it's a solid looking tee shot. Surfacing looks pretty solid throughout, and the whole concept works. Alright, let's see here. It's just kind of a standard 9-iron, it looks like. Alright. Let's see how this putt goes. Could be much worse. Gotcha. Enough. That's not a toy. Stop it. But yeah, I mean, to a certain extent, I mean, I know I might be in the minority there, but I definitely think stop it. The green complex is one of the things that you can do last. You're just gonna be a pain in the ass tonight, aren't you? Get off. No. But yeah, it's a solid hole so far. I think same kind of thing for this one. Is it's just a little on the flat side. I think it's framed nicely. You just could probably use a couple more feet of contouring and stuff in there. The environment looks nice. Maybe a touch on the kind of empty side around the hole, but it doesn't need a ton. But like I like how you sprinkled some trees in the background. You could probably do that in a couple more areas around this one. But you know, just little touches I think would elevate this a fair amount. Gotcha. Okay, so you have to have some kind of plan for the green complex then. Is this a continuation of that 3-hole Lido thing that you had going? Because that whole island plot you had going is definitely a yes, this is not Thomas's course. This is Dion. This is I'm doing the rookie playthroughs. Thomas is just chit chatting about his course. No, I'm. It's a rookie playthrough for Dion's course. No, yeah, no, I don't have Dion here, so sorry if it's all confusing. No, you're good. All right, I like the dramatic, kind of the dramatic cliffside thing, but I don't know. It feels like it kind of comes out of nowhere. Like there's lots of like, yeah, you don't even see it from this hole. I almost didn't notice. I think if you want to introduce that feature, that you want to like this hole number 6 could definitely have been routed to take advantage of this same big feature that it looks like you spent some effort on. Oh, and I'm looking the wrong way. So where am I going? Okay, like this is a cool hole. I would love to see you do more um, with this big feature you created. Let's see. And yeah, no, you're good. I'm happy to chit chat and stuff. Um, let's see here. I feel like between like you alternate between like these very big, just kind of ovally bunkers and the little smaller squiggly ones. And I've just like to me, I think they clash a little bit. I would just kind of stick to one style, either probably the squiggly ones, because I think the oval ones are just a little too large for like the amount of what do you want to call it, like features they have incorporated into them. Like to me, generally, I feel like the more complex the bunker shape you have, like the bigger you can make it and still have it feel like it fits. Whereas like an 80-yard circle bunker just looks weird, but a 10-yard circle bunker might look good. And you can have like a long squiggly 80-yard bunker that can look good. Let's see here. Oh, I just realized I have totally the wrong club for this, but it's going to completely work out anyways. Okay. Currently, I'm not famous in a good way, but hey, more infamous at the moment. But some other more dramatic thing will pop up, and give it a day. It's TGC tours. There has to be a hot thread of the minute on any given day, where all of the drama happens. I'm just not used to being a part of it. Right. Yeah. I like the trees. Um, yeah, just like a tiny note of you kind of use the same tree over and over here. Um, like they're varied up enough where it doesn't look like it's cloned, but I would just sprinkle in um, uh, what do you want to call it? It's like because I know it's Highlands has a lot of pine trees. I might just sprinkle in a couple other variations of the pine trees. But yeah, a solid whole concept. I think green might be a bit large. Let's see here. Yeah, it's not it's not unplayably large, but it's a big green for this hole. Not something that gets in the way, but it kind of gets on that edge of doing it. Oh, well, thanks. Yeah, it's very rare that usually you need a distraction of some kind in order to get through PGA without having people just rant about your course. Yeah, and I'm with you. I am absolutely not gonna spend any energy worrying about that situation. It's done. I could care less. It's not my problem. But I don't really just want to go talk about forum drama. This is about Dion's course, which is pretty solid so far. Hmm. Yeah. I like it's this one's framed nicely. Just a little thing. Let's see. Oh, there is a bridge. Okay, so you can get across. That being said, I feel like you could, like, if you put the bridge so it's visible from the tee, like across here or something, like that would be a nice visible feature to add to the hole, just to add some kind of visual spice for the tee shot. Certainly not a requirement or anything, but like it could add a little pop to the view off the tee. All right, yeah, but yeah, bunker off to the left is maybe a touch wonky, but not bad. Yeah, sculpting looks like it's definitely been cleaner in the last couple holes. To me, like in this case, this shape, I don't know if it really fits there. It just kind of looks doesn't feel like it fits the terrain spot or the contours of the hole. It looks like you just kind of dropped the shape in there and called it a day. But yeah, solid looking hole. Just minor nitpicky stuff. Oh yeah, and that'll be disclaimer number two. Is a lot of my feedback is just going to be super nitpicky. I'm just these streams are just kind of stream of consciousness. I'm just gonna like anything I notice, I'm gonna point out. If it's big, if it's small, it's just I'm just gonna give you everything, and you can kind of pick out what you think is constructive or useful or whatever whatever you wanna you know to take out of it. Go for it. You certainly don't have to. In fact, you probably shouldn't just listen to every random thing I say. All right. Well, this is another cool little. I'm digging the environment. Yeah, I think this might be another case of you've created some really cool atmospheric stuff. Like like you've really created some really cool spots on the plot that I'd like to see you incorporate into your course a little bit more. Like, you could make this whole hug this big cliffside for like a really kind of dramatic hole, but it plays far enough out of reach that all those water feature doesn't really come into play. It's still a fine hole. I just think that like this is just a solid standard hole with like a nice backdrop, but you could have made like a really extraordinary hole that incorporated said backdrop. I don't know if you needed that much waste area in front of the bunk or in front of the green. It works. I don't know. It almost looks just like a little visually busy to me. But again, that's a minor nitpick. Is the next one you're working on the one that you did the three Lido holes? Because that would be a really cool. Yeah, I can see that, Adam. But yeah, Thomas, you did some cool stuff with the Lido one. So if that's the next one you're working on, I'd be really interested to see the other 15 holes. Okay, I'm digging the visuals on this one. Yeah, like the same theme I have with this one is I have with a lot of the other bunkers, where it just feels like there's a lot of varying styles that it's not really consistent. Like to me, like that big squiggly bunker is like a style. Then you have all of these big ovals, which I'm not the biggest fan of. And then I like this one's kind of in between. I dig that style. Like if you did a similar kind of style bunker of that one for the other two, like this would absolutely pop. It would work. But like framing of this hole is nice. Ironically, I'm missing just a little bit of it because I'm a lefty and I'm my golfer's blocking the most interesting part. But this is a really great visually visually a great looking hole, and it plays pretty interesting. I like this tee shot. So yeah, you get a pass for not quite utilizing all of that little natural area on the last hole because you really use it on this hole. Yeah, I know. That's not a strike against him. That's just an observation. Entirely fair. I'm sure I do some stuff in the opposite way, where it's framed nicely and I like the way it looks, but a right-handed golfer, you might be blocking out some of the visuals because I don't see that when I play test it. I like I kind of like what you did with the scrub grass with some bushes thrown in there. I kind of like to see like a lot more of your just kind of natural waste areas done in that style versus like the floods of bushes. Like that to me looks like a little bit more natural. But again, it's just a opinion thing. The bunkering looks a little I don't know, kind of like wild and haphazard on this hole. So, but again, whole concept solid. think you could make it pop with a little bit of work on the bunkering. It might be a touch narrow, although it's a short hole, so we'll see what the layup option looks like. If the layup option's solid, then I take back my you know stop. That's not a toy. It's my microphone. Yeah, layup option's solid. So yeah, I take back any kind of qualms I had about that tee shot. Yeah, and greens have definitely been solid on this course. I think my biggest my only kind of consistent issue with this course has just been uh, bunkering. Like just a little bit of polish for that. A little bit of just consistency in style and sculpting, that sort of thing. Yeah, I think that theme will continue here. The environment, like the framing on this hole with like the natural areas is great. The green is awesome. Bunkers just don't quite do it for me. Like I think you could utilize those to frame this hole very nicely, and this would be just an absolutely outstanding hole. And they just don't kind of fit. Again, they don't look like they fit their environment. They look like they're just kind of there. They're a little massive and a little domineering. Well, like left one is like a decent size visually. Right one is a little big, but like great whole concept, definitely solid. It's just you could make this really pop visually and become like like a signature whole level of visual interest with just a couple tweaks. But yeah, a really cool hole. Like it so far. Of course, just because I like it doesn't mean that I can putt well. There we go. Yeah, pay no attention to the scorecard. It's a massacre. This is a massive fairway. I'm not entirely sure what you're going at here. So we got a big split fairway. This is a big split fairway. But I don't know. Like I feel like I would always go down the left here. I'm not sure if there's any reason to hit it out to the right. I don't think there's any I don't it doesn't look like there's any particular advantage of taking one way or the over the other. Like in terms of approach shots. Like generally how you want to do split fairways is like it kind of seems arbitrary there. And um stop biting me, God. Um Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Get off. Nope, if you're gonna keep biting me, you don't get to sit in my lap. Go away. Alright, let's see here. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any particular advantage second shot wise from either side of the fairway. Nope. Sorry, the hazards of streaming after recently adopting a cat is he's gonna have none of it today. So he's getting a timeout for now. Because he cannot either, you know, stay out of trouble, or, if he keeps wanting to hop in my lap and he just bites my arm. Or, or just digs into my thigh or whatever. But anyway, okay hole. I don't really see the need for it to be a split fairway. It seems a little arbitrary, and there's not any strategic difference I can tell between the two routes. I'm definitely digging this hole a lot. Like, this one's a big step up from, visually it's good, strategically it looks interesting. Yeah. That is a tight little pin location, but yeah, green looks solid. This spot might be a touch borderline, but I don't think it looks bad either. Dion, welcome. Just in time to catch the last four. And that's what I get for looking at the chat while I hit a short putt. Yes, pay no attention to the score. It's bad. But that's also not why we're here. Yeah, let's see here. This one looks a little solid. I think, yeah, that's just one single shape, isn't it? I think I've seen a couple of those, and that's a single shape as well, I think. Yeah. Yeah, no worries. It'll be on VOD, and I'll upload these to YouTube at some point, so they will be around to watch if you want. The general theme so far has been like lots of great ideas, some really cool environmental stuff, and it's just like there's a handful of places I would have liked to seen the interesting environmental features incorporated into holes a little more closely, and then just consistency with bunkers and a little bit of finishing on those is kind of the big thing on this course so far. Because it seems to jump styles, and the polish, is kind of up and down from bunker to bunker. Some of them are done really well, and some of them are kind of a little rough around the edges. But yeah, overall I've dug it so far. Like, surfacing outside of the bunkers looks good. Sculpting looks pretty solid. Like, the visuals are good. There's the strategic interest in holes is a little inconsistent, but still there for the most part. Yeah, I mean, this is, at least for a split fairway, there is a strategic difference to this one, in that, like, the left side obviously lets you hit it further, but it's harder to do. But it also doesn't look like there's actually any advantage to doing that, because you're basically farther away. So I don't know how successful that is, in all honesty. And the whole switched flags thing is weird. I think you should be using the left side of this green exclusively, and let the right side be the number one green. Also, this green is definitely big enough that bunker basically never comes into play. Or, I mean, it might, but very, very rarely. It's pretty far away from the green. And it only would affect, like, one pin. Like if you put a pin like right here is the only time it even remotely comes into play. Like this whole area is never going to come into play. This whole area is never going to come into play. That sort of thing. Okay, switch flags only on one position. Okay. Yeah, I just picked the wrong one. But like it's an interesting novelty. I don't know if I would necessarily yeah, I don't know. It's not the end of the world. I just thought it was a little wonky. Especially it plays okay on that hole, but it plays really weird on actually I mean it still played a little weird cuz it basically made it so you didn't want to hit the you know, like basically you're punished for taking the risky option off the tee. Now, I like what you did with the kind of waist area here. I'd love to see you do a little bit more of this, like burying the bushes, kind of to create scrub areas and like, you know, like that sort of thing. I'd love to see you do that with more of the waist areas you had around the course. And I dig this what you did with the bridge. That's a really cool idea. I haven't seen anyone make a bridge quite like that before. So that's a cool idea. Props for that one. It's definitely unique. Yeah, it's definitely an original concept. Like I don't, you know. Ooh, that's an Ooh, I like the. I like the leaderboard. That's cool. That's a nice touch. Like that's original. I dig it. Um, the deck is pretty cool. Like that's a cool little clubhouse. I like it. Yeah, bunkers is the same thing. That's been a constant throughout the course of, like, I don't think you need the massive oval bunkers, and a lot of the squiggly ones don't always work for me either. But it's all good. But yeah, man, I'm the nitpicky detail guy, so I just I don't notice everything, but I'll notice a lot of random pointless things. Um, but yeah, that leaderboard is really cool. I am absolutely digging that. I can't imagine how long that took, but that's really cool. I know it's like a little kind of like pointless detail touch, but that's an awesome pointless detail touch. But anyway, I got distracted by that. I was talking about 1 and 17. It's definitely memorable. Like I give you props for like coming up with some wild ideas and like just going for it. Like it definitely, it means that some of the holes are going to stand out and you'll remember that. But it also just plays clunky enough that I didn't enjoy it as much as I could have. Again, and I probably just picked the worst pin for that as well. So there's something to be said for that. But yeah, overall, there's like really solid course. Yeah, I mean the score was atrocious, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, just a couple like bunkering. I think was the big consistent issue for me, and then it never flowed. I never felt like it was an asset to the course. Like, strategically, like the positioning of them was fine. It wasn't great, but it was good. Just visually though, like there's a lot of holes where like you had a really great look going, and then the bunkers are just kind of arbitrary and don't fit and don't accent the hole. It doesn't. They don't elevate it visually like it could have. So yeah, I mean that would just be the takeaway there. Like environmental stuff was pretty good. Like some hit or miss things in there, but mostly hits. A lot of cool, great little ideas. Yeah, solid course. I liked it. Um, all right. Oh, I can fit one more in, but I'm gonna cut the stream here and come right back up in a minute. So I'll see everybody in just about a minute with the next one. So thanks and see you in a bit.